Hello everybody, my name is David Sterry and I wanted to show you guys the 21 Bitcoin computer. So basically this is a computer that is a Raspberry Pi with a mining chip attached to it. And I'm just going to take you through some of the commands. Here I am already logged into it, and I'm going to start out by just showing the 21 status command. It shows my account name there, and it shows the hash rate, whether it's mining or not. It shows the amount of satoshis that I've mined, also a balance here, and they put it in terms of how many queries you could do against their service, 21's service, although I don't think that works yet. It's an estimate. So, okay, then the next thing we can do is 21 log. That'll show kind of history of what's happened most recently on the 21 Bitcoin computer and with the account. So, for example, it looks like somebody purchased my Up Premium thing, and which is a directory server to find endpoints. And so that's the log, and you can scroll through it and whatnot. It will show history. I don't know how far back it goes, but you can see basically like every 10 minutes it gives you how many satoshis you mined, and they're giving you that sort of by a share model. It's not actual blocks that they are mining with their pool at that time. They're just paying you for how many shares you sent in during the last whatever 5-10 minutes. So we quit that, and the next command I'll do is 21 mine, and this is actually supposed to give you an advance. Since I'm already mining, it'll give me an advance of 20,000 satoshis against my account, and they say that will just reduce the payout for a little while. So it says you mined 20,000 satoshis in 0.8 seconds. So I really didn't mine those just then, but basically they gave me like a micro loan, a micro loan. That's worth about 8 cents, 7 cents, maybe 10 cents. I don't know. In any case, that's the 21 mine command. If you're not mining, that starts mining. If you are mining already, it gives you the advance. So the next thing I'll do is show the dashboard, and this one we do mine dashboard, and it gives you a little thing, tell you that it's going to run. And here it's showing this information about what miner daemon, what kind of miner it's running. I've had this the Bitcoin computer running for 10 days. Their address for mining, my username, how many shares have been accepted. You've got the adjusted hash rate over the last 5, 15, and 60 minutes in gigahash. So you can see I'm like a little lucky recently. I expect that the hardware is probably just crunching away at the same stuff, but they are getting these shares. The hardware is getting these shares and solving them. And we can see also the temperature, internal temperature, current, this kind of stuff. I have a kilowatt hooked up, and it's showing 24.5 watts right now. And if I turn off mining, I get like 3 watts. So that kind of shows you your watts, your kind of efficiency that you're dealing with. So we'll quit this. You can see down here, solution event. It's been accepted by the pool. Every so often it's updating the statistics on the screen and updating the monitor, whatever that is. So here's work event. It's getting a new piece of work from the 21 pool to do, and the difficulty shows like kind of, it's, maybe you can tune this, I don't know. But in any case, difficulty sets how long it should take roughly to mine a share, and you want it to be frequent enough because you don't want a block to be found and then the work you're working on to be invalid. Basically, you're working on the wrong thing. So I'm going to quit that, and here I'm back to the prompt. So what I wanted to do now was I wanted to download a server. A lot of what's been done with this 21 computer is not the mining. The mining is just to like give it a little bit of Bitcoin to be able to pay for some services, basically empower this little computer to buy things on the internet without you having to put in a credit card number worrying about it getting hacked and something stolen. I mean, I could lose all these Satoshis here, but it's not a ton of money. Really, the idea is that this money would be used to pay other Bitcoin computers for very cheap things, and maybe when millions of systems are using it, that will cause this to become a real functioning economy, and maybe the 21 Bitcoin computer can allow me to buy a cluster of servers or something like that. So in any case, I wanted to download a server that I've been working on called the Causeway server, and this is included in Jeff Garzik. He's a Bitcoin core developer. Worked for BitPay. He started playing around with the 21 and created a Playground Git project. So I'm going to check that out right now. So just cloning into this folder 21, Playground 21. And I'm going to go into that folder and the Causeway folder, which is where my server is. And then just to get this set up, let's see here, we got to do, just check out the README real quick. Installation, we just got to do a couple things. I've already got this other stuff installed, so that's not a big deal, but I do want to run that, set up that database. This is a SQLite database that it uses to store key value pairs, and I'll talk about it in a minute, what that's for. But first I gotta copy the settings file over. Probably have to put that into the README. And here I just want to change a couple things because I'm running other servers on this machine, so I can't use that port. And I also just want to put this here in the video folder. This thing is not really used, but I just want to make sure. So this is important. Video, put Playground 21 Causeway, so we're in the right folder already. And that all looks right, so I'm just going to save that. And we will put in the database. Actually, we'll just do it right here. So shouldn't need to do anything special. And that creates the database. And then to run the server, let me just check that settings file one more time. It doesn't have a debug setting here, but in the code itself, we can check, see if debug is turned on. So it is, and that will be fine. We'll leave it like that. And then I'll just run the Causeway server. So right now it's starting the server on that port. I'm going to shut this down. This debugger code would let you, I suppose, debug this thing from remotely or something. So I'm going to destroy this after the video. But in any case, I'm also running a screen session, so I'm going to just switch to a new window so I can show you something just quickly to interact with this Causeway server. And here we can run the client. In the first place, actually, I know it's port 5005 that I set. So I'm just going to curl this URL, localhost 5005. So, okay, so what this shows, and I think this is kind of important to go over, is basically documentation on the server itself. And this is not the ideal way to show it, but I'm going to show you another one that's better. Basically what it does show you, though, is that there are some endpoints like buy, get, put. These are different things that the server will do for you. In this case, buy lets you buy some micro hosting, a megabyte of hosting with 50 megabytes of bandwidth, and it'll expire in a year, and that will cost 1,000 Satoshis. And then get will let you get a piece of information that you've stored with the server, and put will let you store a piece of information with the server. And then we can see the pricing type per megabyte, that it's got a name, that it's got a description. And so I'll show you in a second where that comes in. Might be kind of useful to know that this information can be crawled by a directory service. That's something else I've been working on, a crawler, to be able to list the services that are on the 21 network. And so actually 21 and Company, or 21 Inc., they set up a thing called Zero Tier, which is a private network. It's all got, if we do, I have config, you'll see my, right here, this is a Zero Tier network. This is my IP address on the Zero Tier network. And it basically acts like a LAN, but it runs over the internet. So you can think of it like you have your computer behind your router, and only the computers inside your house or your office can access those other systems there. And this creates a virtual network across the internet where all the 21 computers can join in. And it's only if you are, I guess, somehow registered with the Zero Tier network that you can join that LAN. And so this is just sort of part of this playground concept. They designed this computer for development, and some people are working on bridging it to the regular internet and setting up services that people can hit from the regular internet. But for just kind of prototyping and that kind of stuff, this is quite useful. So here we have, let's see here, running the Causeway server, and I just checked that endpoint. So now I'm going to go back to this server, and I'm just going to quit it. Control C. So we stop that, and I'm going to try one more. This is another server I'm running called the Up server, and localhost. This is on port 21411. So this one kind of shows you. Let's see. I guess I'll just do it the regular way. Oh, to less. And then, so this one I've worked on since it is a directory service and it's crawling a bunch of URLs, like basically any endpoint that is, or any service that's on the 21 network. I realize what the challenges are in crawling. So a lot of services right now are just providing a 402 payment required endpoint. And that means that when you go to that endpoint, it's going to tell you payment required, and if you're using a 21 Bitcoin computer, you can go ahead and pay whatever number of Satoshis it is, and then you can make your request if that's to get some piece of data or to put something on it. But the thing is, short of that, you may just want to know information about the service, and 21 has a Slack channel where people are sharing this kind of information, but I think it works much better when we're talking about machine payable stuff, that a machine should be able to get the information it needs and parse it out so that it can then call the service, it can know the pricing and whatnot. So here I've kind of have a few things: a service version, API version, a list of endpoints. That's an array of endpoints. This is all JSON, where it shows sort of the arguments to a particular route or endpoint. So this is for the up route, which is actually, to get services that have been up in the last 24 hours. You don't have to provide any arguments, and what it gives you is the name of the service and the URL of the service. And then I made the up premium one, which costs 4 times as much, but gives you the name, the URL, description, and the last time it was updated. So you can go through this and see what else can you do with this service. You can also list your own endpoint so that the crawler will visit it, and that has a cost too. So we can kind of, at that point, we can sort of cut out spam being a problem. So that is the info endpoint for the up directory server. The next thing we'll do is try to just do a query against this server. So for this, we're going to do 21 buy, and then you can set a max price so that you won't pay more than a certain amount. I know it's 250 Satoshis. And I'm just going to, and then I got to do URL, and then I'm going to do the URL of the server, host, do the port 21411, and then the endpoint itself is up. So here I am basically buying it from myself, and what's going to come out is a list of services that have been up in the last 24 hours. So here you can see APIBB, a dealer no deal game, a stock ticker service. This is a music sharing service, the up server itself. All this stuff is running right now. And then one more thing that I want to try is called the browser. So I just developed this, and what the browser does is, let's see here, I gotta do, this is actually not part of Causeway, so this one I have to get from up. So what I'll do is, let me just get this URL for that. So now I'm cloning the up server itself, and I'm going to just run the browser. So this is browser. I'm not sure that I have to do any configuration, but here it is. Yeah, it's already set up to point at my server. So it tells you the cost is 250 Satoshis. Would you like to query up for available endpoints? Yeah, and the first thing you have to do is query for available endpoints. So we'll say yes. Right now it's getting the list of endpoints, this one up here that I just bought. It's buying it again, and now it's giving us a choice. What do we want to see? Which of these do we want to view? So what it's going to do is, these are just info URLs, and it will query the one I choose. So I'm going to choose the DNS one, the first one, and just hit enter. And see, now it shows the information that's at that URL. And I can choose, do I want to visit another one? Yes. And this part of it's free. So I've already bought the directory this one time, and then now I will let's look at number 11. So this is a Causeway server, and that's it. I'm going to say no, I don't need to visit anymore, and that's pretty much the tour I wanted to give you. Tried a few services. You could definitely, if you have a 21 Bitcoin computer, you can try out all the different endpoints. And I mean, the funny thing is, I could probably try all of these for something like 5,000 Satoshis. So, and that's something like 2 cents. So it's really not expensive to try this stuff. Again, these things are geared toward computers. But I think it's an interesting playground, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. All right, take care.
Bonjour à tous, à quelques jours de la fermeture de ses portes, le mercato estival s'emballe. Longtemps pointé du doigt pour son manque d'initiative sur le marché des transferts, Arsenal est enfin passé à l'action. Les Gunners vont accueillir de nouveaux joueurs dans les prochaines heures, le buteur du Deportivo La Corogne Lucas Pérez contre la somme de 20 millions d'euros, et le défenseur allemand de Valence Kodran Mustafi pour un transfert estimé à 40 millions d'euros. Deux recrues qui devraient très certainement redonner le sourire aux fans des Gunners qui attendaient avec impatience l'arrivée de nouveaux éléments. Tout comme Arsenal, l'Inter Milan a décidé de casser sa tirelire pour s'offrir deux talents très convoités. Le portugais João Mario du Sporting et le brésilien Gabriel Barbosa, surnommé Gabigol, auteur de bonnes performances lors des Jeux Olympiques de Rio. Deux recrues qui sont d'ores et déjà arrivées à Milan et qui devraient coûter la coquette somme de 70 millions d'euros. Un investissement qui en dit long sur les ambitions des Nerazzurri cette saison. En France, l'OGC Nice pourrait bel et bien tenter le pari Mario Balotelli. L'Italien serait même arrivé à Nice afin de discuter avec les dirigeants niçois, mais son salaire de 6 millions d'euros par an risque de poser problème aux Aiglons. Reste à savoir si les Reds accepteront de prendre en charge une partie de ces émoluments. De son côté, le Lillois Sofiane Boufal devrait très prochainement quitter la Ligue 1 pour rejoindre la Première Ligue. En effet, le Marocain devrait s'engager en faveur de Southampton. Une offre de plus de 24 millions d'euros est évoquée. Toujours dans l'Hexagone, le PSG continue de dégraisser son effectif. Salvatore Seligu est officiellement prêté sans option d'achat au FC Séville, tandis que Benjamin Stambouli a signé un contrat de 4 ans avec Schalke. Pour finir, Unai Emery était présent en conférence de presse ce vendredi et le technicien espagnol a ouvert la porte à d'autres mouvements avant la fin du mercato. Jusqu'au 31 août, tout est possible, dans le sens des départs comme des arrivées. Si on peut améliorer l'équipe, je ne ferme pas la porte. Fin de la citation. Enfin c'est officiel, le Barça prête 2 de ses joueurs. Sergi Samper prend la direction de Grenade, tandis que Douglas est prêté au Sporting Riron. De son côté, Thierry Henry intègre le staff de la sélection belge. L'ancien buteur des Bleus devient le second assistant de Roberto Martinez. Voilà, c'est tout pour aujourd'hui. Bonne soirée à tous, bon week-end et rendez-vous lundi pour de nouvelles informations sur le Mercato.